in this place. Look at the neighbor, say neighbor.
Neighbor.
God is up to something.
God is up to something.
Are you with it?
Are you with it?
Or are you against it?
Are you against
I
it?
answer them, which one are you?
I'm with it.
I'm with it. Amen. Amen. You may have your seats in the presence of the Lord. Hallelujah. This morning, there's something different on me that I can't even lie. There's something different on me. And there's an assignment that I have to deal with today. And it comes from Isaiah chapter 58, verse 12. Isaiah chapter 58, verse 12. Isaiah chapter 58, verse 12. Mr. Hancock told me, he said, you ain't gonna hoop today. They said hoop or something. I believe that. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. I know that after a while I will be cold, so I want to release myself from that. Something needs new batteries. Something needs new batteries. I don't know whether it's this one or something else, but I can hear it in the mic. Praise God, amen. Come on. Isaiah chapter 58, verse 12. Isaiah chapter 58, verse 12. That's probably the only place that I will go today, seeing that I woke up at 6:30 this morning and the Lord gave me a very different message than the one that I was intending to preach today. And the trip about that is that when he does that, it means that it's been tailor-made for the people that walk up in the spot. You feel me? Now let's don't let the soup fool you. I'm going out to dinner with a friend of mine today at the service, or after the time we have a little lunch. It's one of my pastor friend's birthday, so this is the only reason why your boy dressed like this. Other than that, I'll be in a t-shirt, jeans, and some J's.
You look good.
J's, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. And so this is just my outfit for dinner. But I want y'all to kick it with me for a minute, because God woke me up this morning from a dream. I dreamed about a person that was very close to me, very, very close to me. And when I say close, I mean close. And without saying a name, this person, when they lived in my house. When I ate, they ate. When I went, they went. If they ain't had no money in their pocket and I had money, they had it. And so a person that was very, very close to me, and in this dream, I was walking down my block, and the person was coming from what seems to be out the middle of the street. And he was like, I'm tired of this, I'm mad, I'm weary, and all this. I was just gonna walk up and say, hey man, good to see you. I'm proud of all the things that you've done. You know, he said, I know you tired. And so you just preach and everything. I just walked out the house, bro. I ain't preaching. I said, I'm good. He's like, are you for real? I said, yeah, I'm good. And we ran up to each other and we embraced. And in that embrace, we both began to cry in the embrace. And it was a trip, because I'm like, wait, hold on. And next thing you know, we loose from the embrace. I looked at him, I said, man, I'm proud of you. I grabbed his face like that, as I always do, kissed his forehead. I said, I'm proud of you. He said, you want to go and have something to eat right quick? I said, you know I do. And so I woke up from that, and when I woke up, the Spirit of God spoke to me very clearly and loudly. He said, that was for me. That dream was for me. I said, well, what you want to do, Jesus? What you want to do? He said, first of all, I'm letting you know I'm going to restore that.
Yay. Yay.
I said, all right. It's about the third. It is. It's about the third dream I've had in regards to that. Thank you very much. And he said, the second thing I want to tell you is, I want you to, we're going to switch the word. I said, we're going to switch the word. He said, yeah. What did I say out of America? And he said, I want you to talk about family restoration. Family restoration. It's a trip how many of us are sitting in this place looking as beautiful and pretty as we are and handsome as we are. and we go home to dysfunctional families. Where you at?
Amen.
Y'all know what I'm talking about? And we go home to dysfunctional families, and the dysfunction that we go to is such a trip that you would never even imagine what somebody goes home to. And they come in and they're happy and they're jubilant, but they're going home to a level of dysfunction that they really can't even begin to explain. And sometimes they're wearing it on themselves and they're like, oh my God. But they smile because they don't want anybody to really know the fullness of what they're dealing with and what they're going through. And so there was one scripture that the Lord really kind of led me to in regards to this text. It's a trip, and it says, Isaiah 58:12. And they that shall be of thee shall build the old ways places and shall raise up the foundation of many generations. That's a trip. And they shall be called, watch this, the repairers of the breach, the restorers of paths to dwell in. You know, if you're not too mean, touch somebody, say fight for it.
Fight for it. Fight for it.
Fight for it.
Yeah. Look at somebody else and say fight for it.
Fight for it.
Fight for it.
You know, we ain't got no control over who family we born into. We didn't choose our mamas and daddies. These didn't choose how crazy they was gonna be. Wait a minute, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, some of our parents had a little crazy, amen. I whoop you because I love you. I knew that was true, but you know, when I was young, I didn't understand that I whoop you because I love you. You just hit me with not with an extension cord, but with a what? Extension cord. Come on, son. Or whatever was handy at the moment, right?
Yeah.
And so when we didn't understand mama's love or daddy's love, because guess what? They were just doing what they had done to them. Somebody, a parent once told a child, they said, Mama, why don't you ever tell me you love me? And the mama said, I show you I love you every day. How is that? Because you got a roof over your head and clothes on your back.
Right.
But that's cool in the game, but if you never tell a person who is not a gift person by love language that you love them, they'll never know.
Yeah.
Because they don't know how, the language of their love is not your gift giving.
Well,
And so if your love language is gift giving and I give you gifts, that lets you know I love you. But if your love language is words and I say, hey, I love you, it's gonna be all right. Those are the things that will encourage you. Does that make sense to you? So if we're gonna do this thing called family, is a real trip because we didn't know who families we was gonna be born into.
yeah.
We didn't know what dysfunctions they came with, right?
Yeah.
We didn't know that our mothers or fathers or both have gone through some stuff that has disrupted and disturbed how they raised and reared us. We didn't know that mama, when she was young, got molested by uncle, and now that's impacting how she's loving on me.
Come on now.
We didn't know that daddy's daddy used to beat on him, and now this is why he's always angry. We didn't understand the stuff that was going on in them that makes them who they are. Does it excuse crazy behavior? Not really. Doesn't excuse crazy behavior, but it explains a whole lot. So we deal with some stuff that we just like, man, why did I have to go through this? Can I suggest to you real quick, and then I will start to preach, because this is just my intro. Can I suggest to you that the harder it has been, the more hell you've had to go through, the greater the destiny that you have. It is because you went through what you went through and it did not kill you, that you are who you are right now. You feel me? But what it was designed to do, it was designed to kill you. Let me walk over here. It was designed to make you depressed to the place where you would never come out. It was designed to make you give up. It was designed to make you say, I hate these types of people and never love again. It was designed to make you close your heart. It was designed to make you do that. But the text says, and they that shall be of thee. Who is the thee? Let's walk through this. The thee is of he. Y'all, I'm sorry, I tried to alliterate. But the thee is those that are of him. and they that shall be of him shall build old waste places. They're going to deal with some old stuff that's in families. Isn't it a trip how sometimes you start to manifest stuff in your families that you didn't even know that was there?
Yeah.
You lie just like Uncle Jack. Wait a minute, Uncle Jack? Who was Uncle Jack? Where did he come from? I don't even know Uncle Jack. You look just like him. That's not my fault. Well, you sound just like him. You doing this like Uncle Jack. Like what? For real? Okay. And there are things that are generational. Say generational.
Generational.
And what that really means is that there's some stuff in you that's operating without your permission. There's some stuff you're dealing with that's operating without your permission. You weren't trying to be this way, but this is just how it is. It's just how it is because it traveled down through your genes. You weren't trying to do it, but it traveled. So the trip is now I got to deal with some stuff in me that I never asked for. I got to deal with some perversion I never asked for because somebody in my family was nasty, and so now I got a predisposition to be nasty. I ain't trying to be nasty, but I just have a predisposition to be nasty. Somehow it was on the inside. I mean, I just like some nasty stuff. I wasn't trying to be that way. It's just in my bloodline. Or you might have some people that say, you know what? I have a predisposition to depression because depression runs through my bloodline. I'm looking at a group of individuals in this room right now whose destinies are so great that hell tried to stop who they were by the issues of their life. Hell tried to destroy you by sending you through some hard stuff.
Yes.
But there's something that I gotta give you that's gonna flip the script on all that you've been through. Hope you're ready for this. What the enemy meant for bad, God was always using it for your good. Wait a minute, hold on, player, hold on. Let's jump back and let's take a look at this. How in the world can me being molested make sense for my destiny? I'll tell you this, because what he tried to do gave you some strength and fortitude. Watch this, gave you some strength and fortitude to make a decision that I wasn't going to be what happened to me. Watch me. I wasn't going to be what happened to me. So now when I raised up out of that thing and look back at what I've been through, I'm a better person. Not necessarily because of it, but because of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
So even in the molestation, as bad as it is, what God will allow to happen is this. It will happen not because God did. Let me say this. God didn't make you get molested, okay? God didn't make Uncle so and so pass away. He didn't take them, he didn't kill them. God is not a God of death. Hear me?
Amen.
So I don't care what funeral you've been to, and they say, well, the Lord did pick another rose, and now there's another angel in heaven. That's a lie, because they ain't in the Bible. They ain't nowhere in the Bible. God picking roses.
Well,
The man can speak a flower, and there it is. What do you got to go pick something for? And then he gonna come around messing around in your family. No. The Bible says this. It says the thief cometh not but for to steal, kill, and destroy, but he's coming that he might have life and that more abundantly. So those individuals that have died in your family that were in Christ, when they closed their eyes in this world, they opened up. It was like they blinked and they were before the presence of God. So that don't sound like death to me. That sounds like a nap.
right. Ooh.
So they didn't die. They just sleep. Okay?
Wow.
Now, I can't talk to you about everybody else now. I only know about the ones that's in Christ.
Well,
The ones that ain't in Christ, I don't know. You know, that's a song. Praise God. Amen. Okay.
Real quick.
But the thing about it is that I really want to get you today is I want to get to this thing called restoration. Okay? I want to get to this thing called restoration. And I want to do something so uncharacteristic of me. Y'all know I don't do Q&As during service. I really don't. And I don't, and I, especially during the live stream, I don't really do that, but I want to let our live people in on our family talk. Y'all feel me?
Okay.
And so we're gonna have some family talk today. Not much more so preaching, but family talk. Let's talk family. Let's talk about how to get back together. Let's talk about my issues, your issues, our issues that are prohibiting our families from being restored, that are prohibiting me from being healed. Y'all feel me?
Wow.
So I'm gonna, this is how we're gonna rock this. I'm gonna sit here. I need somebody with a mic. I need somebody on the left and on the right side with a mic. And if we got questions on the left or the right side, they'll be able to, you know what I'm saying, get you with the questions. Yeah, man, thank you. You want me a mini table? Yeah, let's do the mini table. I'll do the mini table, set the mini table right next to me. And then, you know, and them, I know you're watching. And them is one of the ladies at our South location, and she hooks me up with Fiji every time we go. And so Minister Hancock had my favorite type of water, Voss, in a bottle. He had it up there. Everything was cool, right? Man, check it. She said, "What?" She's from Nigeria. She said, "What?" I thought I was the water girl here. I'm breaking up with you now. I will no longer do these things. So I hope I have me some Fiji water next time I go to our South location. But they getting everything together, man. And I'm gonna say we're gonna kick it, okay? I'm butting my coat and we're gonna kick it today. Can y'all handle that? Y'all hear me preach every Sunday. And I very rarely get the opportunity to do a fireside chat and to talk family stuff. I know he readjusted the camera and everything like that because I decided to sit down. So yeah. Y'all ready? How many of y'all are at a place in your lives where you're ready to see family, where you're ready to have family like it used to be?
Amen.
Yeah, family like it used to be. But we know what we got to do for the next time, right? Minister Hancock, we know what we got to do for the next time.
I see it.
Let me share this with Minister. I got the lights.
Okay.
They've arrived.
Oh, really? Okay. So it'll be different.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I wanna entertain your questions. I wanna talk topics today. I wanna talk restoration first, and then I'm gonna answer your questions. So I got Elder Blanks on this side. Who gonna be on this other side over here? Minister Hancock's over there. All right, he gonna have the first question. So you gonna go over there and with the microphone, or you gonna ask a question?
Oh, you can go there.
Okay, go over there with the microphone. Okay, good. Thank you for serving. I love you so much.
He just wants to open
Yeah, he's strange. Come on, sit right here. And position yourself so you can look back and see if anybody on this side have a question. Okay, good. All right, other branch you can sit too, and she gonna have the first question. So, Monty, go ahead and ask your question, honey.
How do you go up to the courts of heaven
How do you go to the courts of heaven
and break off generation?
and break off generational curses? That's a real good question. And mine is deep. It was. Courts of Heaven is a prayer strategy that enables you to go and get things legally dealt with. Do I want to deal with that in its totality right now? No. However, I will tell you that there's a book I'm going to give you to read. Yeah. So that you can learn the protocols behind the courts of heaven and all of that wonderful stuff. Because it's too much for a sitting like this to answer that question. And it's not that I don't want to, but it's more to answer in this sitting. And I think I would lose the majority of the people that are here. But you can utilize the courts of heaven to get some things broken off of your family and to see some immediate results in there. And so that's something that I will teach on in the class at a later date, but I'm gonna make sure you get there. You know what book I'm talking about, Adrian?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, make sure she get access to that book. Make sure Molly get access to that book, okay? All right, we got you. So, let's talk restoration. Say restoration.
Restoration.
I gotta fight for it.
I gotta fight for it.
You have to understand that restoration does not start with somebody but you first. If you want to see stuff happening in your family, it's going to start with you. And so literally what God has to do is he has to start healing you and delivering you and bandaging you up from the inside so that when you get ready to go to these people, you don't feel the same way. How many of y'all have somebody in your family that you just don't like? Wait a minute. Yeah. Some of y'all waved your hand like, yeah. How many of y'all have somebody in your family that you love, but they're not your favorite individual? Yeah. All right. And you got those people in your family that you just like, that's my. They don't get no bigger. You understand what I'm saying? That's them right there. You feel me? But ultimately, when you've been hurt by family, guess what's going to happen? It's going to make it very difficult for you to interact with individuals. You're going to do it because they're family, but it's going to make it very difficult. So you're going to have to heal, especially if it was something traumatic or tragic, or they did something that was very offensive to you. Now, when we talk about offensive, I mean, if they did cuss you out and you didn't do nothing, and then they found out that you didn't do nothing, and then didn't come back and say nothing, and then expected everything to be cool. But you know that you just called me a couple days ago? I still got to fight on the inside of me for you.
Right.
Okay? And so you never heal from that. And so we have a lot of stuff that we got going on in our families that emerge from family secrets, that emerge from people doing stuff to us that we never heal from. And so the restoration has to start with you. Then it becomes like a virus and it goes into the rest of your family. That's why God saved you. That's why God chose you. You're the chosen one. You're the curse breaker. You're the one that goes in and really gets some restoration first and then allows God to restore the family through you. Because the thing about it is that the more he starts to restore you, the more different you are to people. You start to be restored. Now you start to treat this person well that you ain't never treated well before. And now they're like, are you okay? Are you trying to kill me? You invite me to your house for dinner?
I ain't gonna eat it.
I ain't gonna eat it. Thank you, Miss Vera. I ain't gonna eat that. But you got no. When they get that, it's good and you hospitable and they try to figure something out. But it's not that you're trying to kill them. It's you trying to love them. Because when you've been restored, it corrects what you used to do. Behavioral patterns that you used to have, you get corrected real quick. You're no longer the same person. I can love on you and genuinely love on you. And you could not like me, but I can still love on you. You see what I'm saying? And so that's what we start dealing with this whole thing about restoration. You got to realize that God is restoring you first. Say, restore me first.
Restore me first.
Heal me first.
Heal me first.
Deliver me first.
Deliver me first.
So I can be all right.
So I can be all right.
To love the people,
To love the people
in my family.
in my family.
Okay, that's how it works. That's how it had to start with me. Like, I love my family. I did. And the trip is, I'll say this way. Have you ever had significant people in your family die and then it never was the same?
Oh, yeah.
And when they died, when Big Mama died, when Grandma died, when this person passed, or this series of people passed, it was like, man, we ain't get together no more. The backbone is gone. Like, what happened? And so what happened for my family was my great-grandmother passed, my aunties, couple aunties passed, and a very significant auntie passed away, and we just stopped getting together, all together. And so for me, that was like detrimental. I'm like, I don't even know how to act like this Christmas, and it's just us here? What? So now the Lord had started to deal with my heart, and ultimately what happens is I started to say, the Lord said, all right, I want you to put together Christmas, and I want you to put together a big barbecue for what's the one I always do?
4th of July.
4th of July. So I did that. I texted everybody. I said, I want y'all to bring this, and I told my grandparents. We all went to Grandmama's house, and that was the kickoff of some of the best days ever. Now they're expecting on the 4th of July me to send the text out and say, what you bringing? They're expecting Christmas. Christmas at my grandmama's house is hilarious. I was on the phone with my mama this morning. Providence Paula came over last year, and we was playing the game. Woo! I had to show the video one day, and it tickled my mama so bad. I ain't never seen my mama laugh like that. She laughed in the most embarrassing and ridiculous way, till she almost went potty on herself. Right? That's how bad it was. Yeah, she went potty on herself. I was making fun of you. That's why. And she brought that up today. She said, man, That was fun. We're going to my grandma's house on Monday. She was like, I can't wait for y'all to get here. Because we brought family back. Just like, I don't know who it was that brought Sexy back.
Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, all right. He needs to know. Yeah. So guess what? We brought family back. So now it's this constant camaraderie. And sometimes family is not always blood. You feel me? I got Elder Blanks. Elder Murphy's been in my family for like 9 years. And the thing about it is when you come around my family and they give you a nickname, you in. And the first nickname that Elder Murphy got from my grandfather, who was the one. He called him Smoke Boat. Smoke Boat. And Elder Murphy was like, Smoke Boat? We have no clue what Smoke Boat means, but that's his way of welcoming me into the family and say, I love you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes family is not always the people that you're blood with. Sometimes family is those people that you have a kinship with that's strong. You know what I'm saying? And you have to receive those family members as well. So we call those extended family members. Okay? So he starts the restoration process with you. But you got to be willing to be restored. It's not one of those things of, ooh, he's just going, one day I'm going to wake up and bam, be restored. No, it's a process. What is it? A process. It's a process. And you got to be willing to be restored with that. Okay? So here we go. Let me handle some of y'all questions right now. I want to hear a few questions if y'all got it. If y'all don't, I'll keep talking because I always have mine. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a question regarding having children in your family, and we understand that how we were raised according to traditions and what mama and grandmama passed down to us regarding disregard. Regarding disregard. I don't understand how family can just disregard you. I mean, just like whatever you say, I hear you, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna disregard what you're saying. That borderlines on that I'll kick your
Amen.
down in me.
Amen.
And so, that's my question. How do you not?
How you not let that anger and rage raise up and make you fight?
Right.
Okay.
And why can't they just be obedient?
Because that's the generation. We live in a completely different generation. My generation, your generation, the generation before that, and the one that we live in right now is a totally different generation. And the trip about it is that when you start dealing with this generation, it's not that they don't want to obey, they need to have an example of obedience. If the thing that you're asking them to do, you don't do, then how can I do that? Because I'm a see it generation. All that stuff that they got, they have an iPhone, see.
Right.
Facebook, look. Snapchat, they snapping pictures. Instagram, I'm looking into your life. So really what it is, they need to see into your life. It's no longer how we were raised, do like I say, not do like I do. And so that mentality is if you can't show me what to do right, then why should I obey you when I have something else out here that's showing me something?
But I've already shown.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a very obedient person. I follow the rules. I follow the word.
It's not what you are showing. It's probably sometimes it's probably the times that you're not showing it that are the most pronounced. You see what I'm saying? And so the Bible says walk up circumspectly, you know, and when there is a discrepancy in your behavioral patterns, you have to sit that person down, you have to explain, look, this is what was going on and this is how it is. That's not typically me. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll hold that over your head. And they will look through that lens on your life. They will look through that lens they will look through that lens at your life and say, well, you didn't do it then, so why should I have to do it now? That's how this generation thinks. Am I lying?
No.
That's how this generation thinks. And so, coming from the generation that you came from, there was this automatic fear of our parents. Not just fear as in respect, but I'm scared of you.
Right.
Now, there's not that fear anymore. And the reason why is because a lot of parents are trying to be their kids' friends and not trying to parent them. But we gotta understand something, Auntie, and then I'm gonna hit this. You have to understand that this generation of young people are very prophetic by nature. And you have to raise them prophetically. You have to raise them by the Spirit of God. Traditional means are not gonna work with them. And the reason why is because they're of a different breed. They are culture's kids. Culture's kids are those that say, whatever the fad is and whatever's going on in culture, that's how I want to be. And sometimes it's not just mainstream culture, but it's a counterculture or a subculture that they will follow after because it has a strong enough influence on who they are. And it's not that it's not they don't love parents, not that they don't want to obey parents. It's the power of culture that pulls them because culture knows how to speak their language. Parents don't. That's good, isn't it?
Simple things, like simple things about how are you showing the world that you are respecting yourself, that you have respect for yourself when you don't do the things that people outwardly see. You know, case in point, I was asking a young man this morning to iron his hoodie. And he asked me, why do I have to iron it? And so I broke it down because it was at the bottom of the clean clothes bag and the weight of all the clothes were mashing down on the hoodie. And now you have mad creases. So you have to iron. He never did.
You know what I found out, Auntie? And this is a true statement. I like to iron my clothes, but Elder Blanks doesn't. But you know what? Again, that is the culture. That is the culture of that generation. And it's not an intentional, that ain't what I want to do, but they don't get that because they don't see it. I saw my grandparents owned a leather shop. They owned a shop and stuff like that. So, man, I saw them ironing clothes. I was made to iron clothes at that young age. You know what I'm saying? I could crease pants better than anybody. And they don't even wear creases in pants no more. You know what I'm saying? And so I could iron a shirt and everything else like that, make it look like it's been in the cleaners.
Right.
But at the same time, that's not them. That's not their generation. And you got to choose your battles. Yeah. Well, that's a battle that I just probably would not have fought. My son don't even do it. My son 21, he won't iron nothing. At all. He won't iron that. Just be wrinkled as ever, looking nasty and just trifling.
Like balled up.
Right, and I just be irritated by it. I'm coming outside, I got my, I'm looking real fresh and everything like that.
Yeah.
And he buy pants with wrinkles in them. I don't even understand that. The pants got wrinkles and rips in it. I got a couple pairs, they got to rip strategically, but I'm like, wait a minute, hold on now. This right here, this is too much. But that's not, and I have to allow that level of expression. Because if I try to stifle that level of expression and make him me, I will make him reject me. I will make him, and in that rejection of me, I'll get hurt because I feel like he's not responding or receiving what I have to say. So you got to pick your battles with that. That's a battle that I just wouldn't have fought. I'm serious. It's a battle I just wouldn't have fought because
I did feel rejection.
Yeah, because it's like this is something that I was taught and I want to pass it to you. But there's some information that are generational that may not necessarily be relevant. Oh God, relevant to that generation. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna talk more about that one. You had one, baby. Go back there for her. He come go the other way because you're in front of my camera. Now go on the other way. I teach you right. Praise God. Amen. Praise God. I'm petty, right? Amen. I'm petty. It's okay.
Okay, so I kind of got two questions.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Does it have to be on the topic?
No. Well, yeah. Let's keep it family. Let's keep it family.
Okay, so my question is, I know that you have to stay away a while, like you back to your family and they see the transition or whatever. But how do you, I guess I want to say, like, how do you remain you without, like, feeling like you have to appeal to the tradition of your family instead of just being, like,
Okay.
true to who you are?
Yeah. Okay, let's keep it like this. We started talking about, usually there are those moments in our families where we gotta take a break.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm being real. Look at it. Sometimes when you start hitting this thing called family, and God starts dealing with you, you have to. There is a break that is taken for, and the reason why it is so that there can be a reset. The reset has been designed for them to start to forget who you were and give you enough time to become who God has assigned you to be.
Yeah.
Okay? And so with that being said, you take a little time. Are you acting funny? How many of y'all have heard that before? You acting funny. I'm not acting funny. I just don't want y'all to trigger who I was in the midst of who I'm becoming. You know what I'm saying? So I can't come to all family functions. I don't even drink no more, so I can't be around that because that corona start looking good with that. Say amen, somebody.
Amen.
You know, I can't do that. Now I know Uncle So you had that weed and you don't have the cheap stuff, you got the good stuff, brother. And so now you come over there and me and you used to smoke mad weed together, so now here you go, you come with the boat and you like, nephew, what's up? Come on, man, you know where we going. I'll see you on the next go round, bro. I'll see you, I can't even. Mouth be going like this.
Right there.
He be like puff, and you ready to pass. He be like, mouth be going like this. Can't even do it. You know what I'm saying? Can't even do it. And the trip is this, that when you get ready to do that, you have to step away for a second for the reset purposes. And then you allow, then God will give you the instruction about, hey, go to this, go to that, go to this, go to that. And you'll start to come around more. And they will notice the change about you. What I tell people is, when you get saved and God starts dealing with you, don't go in there preaching to them. Don't go in there. I'm going to tell you why. You go in there preaching to them, they be like, do you know you was a whole last week? You was a straight Tatiana last week, and now you talking about holy what? No, you was whole. Forget the meat. You was whole by itself. Come on, holy. I'm holy. Holy. No. Holy. Okay. So, but I mean, real talk. You gotta walk away for a minute, and that time of separation, although it may seem like an eternity, is not always an eternity. The purpose of it has been designed for you to reset, get some healing, and not be triggered by a lot of the stuff that they do. So that's how that goes. Okay. Who got? Okay. Next question. Okay. All right.
Okay, making the first step to restoring yourself. What's the next step in order you need to make when it comes to like breaking that generation curse and staying on that restoring path, so that way it continues for the next generation?
I love it. First thing, if you're gonna restore yourself, see, there's an aspect of restoration that comes with time. Okay, but there's an aspect of restoration that only comes with Jesus. I'm serious. There's one that only comes with Jesus. And I'm not talking about, and I want you to hear me, my brother. I'm not talking about grandmama's Jesus, the one that's still on the cross. You know, I'm talking about the one that can kick it with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's relevant to who you are. And ultimately, you know, when we say that, that's the first step. The next step is opening their heart. And as men, watch me, as men, it's difficult for us to open that heart.
Yeah.
Because we get hurt or we shut down tighter than Fort Knox, baby. You done hurt me one time. Oh, forget you.
All right.
You hurt? No, I ain't hurt. I'm smarter now. And so now it's opening your heart to him so that he can start to deal with the stuff that's there. And I'm going to share with you how God deals, okay? This is how God deals. He deals with it by bringing it up to the surface. That's how he started. When he started to bring it back up to the surface, I ain't thought about this in years.
Oh, boy.
And he started to bring it back up to the surface. When it becomes a present thing now, that he's bringing back up, the objective of it now is so that he can kill it. Pick up and kill it and kill it. Pick up. Okay? And so literally, you literally got to pick up and kill it. And you will know when healing comes. This is how you know when healing comes. I'm going to tell you my story real quick. My daddy's story, okay? My daddy's story is this. My daddy, I was born in 80. My mom was, I gave my age, whatever. My daddy married my mom in 81, all right? You know, I'm a smart kid, so I thought that was a little strange in the first place. Don't try to be back there laughing at my age. I see y'all back there looking. How old is he? Don't worry about it. Oh, I know how old I am. What? Go get my J's. Okay, all right. Here we go. Yeah, that OG came out. I apologize for that. But now check it. My dad whooped on my mama for the first 5 or 6 years of my life. All right, and that's what I saw. I saw my daddy whooping on my mama. And I put 120 stitches down his back with an axe. I wouldn't even mind because that's my mom. But it did something to me. After that, he left shortly after that. I was 6. He came back into my life at 12. Now, in between 6 and 12, I had traumatic sickness that almost took my life. My daddy wasn't there. 12, he shows up at my house, and I remember the time. He shows up at my house at 8:12 in the morning. He said, I'm going to take you to Toys R Us and buy you whatever you want. He knew Toys R Us didn't open up until 10 o'clock. I'm still a little bitter about that. He knew Toys R Us didn't open up till 12 o'clock, till 10 o'clock. And so he took me by there. We got in the car. He said, man, it ain't open. I'll be back soon and take you back to buy you whatever, you know. And so he came back at 24. So that's 12 years later. I'm like, man, Toys R Us is closed once more and again. Yeah. You know, but he kept coming back, and this time he came back with a 14-year-old son. And then he told me I had a 16-year-old sister. I said, bro, you can't spring all this on me. Now I'm older now, so now I have a little bit of resentment, but I'm loving on him because I have a brother, and I don't even know how to act with a brother because I never had one before. This little kid runs from out the back and gives me a hug, and I'm sitting here looking at this cat like, bro, why you touching me? I already know you, bro. Right. What you doing? All right, so I'm going to hug back because I'm in church, but I don't know you like that. And so the crazy part about it is that my dad stepped out of my life once more and again. And it was a trip because the length of time that it was longer than 12 years. And I had to heal. And one day, I got a message from my pops. And I looked, and then I'm like, stuff wanted to raise up. And this is what came, this nigga want to contact me now. I got a 21-year-old son, man. I've been a better daddy than you ever been, bro. What you doing, bro? You gonna come back in my life right now, bro. What you doing? For real. You know? And so I had to sit down. I had to have a conversation with some people because I'm serious, so that I had to get that stuff out. I had healed. I hadn't been restored enough to be able to handle a relationship with this cat. Y'all, maybe it's just me. And so now I done got healed to that place now where I'm like, all right, man. I sent him a text. I'm like, hey, Pop, what's going on with you? All right? He saw it. He looked at it. But he didn't respond. But normally, that would have hurt me down in my core. You know what it did? It's okay. It didn't hurt me anymore. So now I can start to restore that with him. That's how I know that the healing starts to work. Because stuff that used to get me, don't get me no more. And it's not just time. It really is. It's healed from the inside out. So I know what it is. And just in regards to that Pop thing, but even with family members that may have rejected you and didn't help you when you was down and out and on your own, man, I understand that. But at the end of the day, when you start to get healed and you start to allow God to come in and do the work in you that he needs to do in you,
Amen.
and make you that person that he called you to be, that's literally, right there, that's literally when you're going to see the change happen in your family. And here goes. I want y'all to see this. Sometimes, y'all ready for this? Sometimes the relationship will not be the same for good reason.
Yeah. 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 Okay.
Okay? And the reason why that is because if y'all was as close as y'all was before, they would snatch you back into some things that you used to do. So guess what? God has to take that relationship and loosen it a little bit so it ain't as strong as it used to be, so that you can now be able to, if they do tempt you with something, you ain't tripping like, man, I'm gonna go on back. Because you ain't that strong like that. So that's why you have to loosen that relationship until you get stronger than the temptation that they try to put on you.
Amen. Come on.
Y'all got me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Where the next one coming from? It's right there.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah. Wait, I gotta understand. Okay. How can you keep the family functioning?
Put my team out so you.
All right. How do you keep the faith and even continuously pray for your family when you don't see change and they will continuously act out of their free will?
Oh man, that's good. How many of y'all are really praying for your families to change and stuff like that, and you get frustrated because you don't see it immediately? Let me give you an example. Abraham, it took Abraham probably about 10 years before he saw his son Isaac come out of the womb of his wife, who was 90 years old.
Amen.
And so sometimes the process, and you got to realize that your prayers are affecting change in the realm of the spirit. But God has to situate situations and circumstances to happen to make the will of the people bend and change. So there's some stuff that he's going to allow to happen. Okay, I can't be nothing but transparent. You know what I'm saying? It took my grandmama to have a stroke to slow my granddaddy down.
Amen.
Right.
Feel me?
Right.
And so when it slowed him down, now they at home together all day, every day, loving on each other. But Pop would be out there and he did what he had to do. You feel me?
Right.
That's what he had. He was out there and he did what he had to do. You get me? And he made ends meet. He made home happy. You know, we had bills paid, everything like that. Okay, so at the end of the day, Pop did what he had to do, but it slowed him down now. And now he could really begin to show the love that he had for his wife. Aside from, I'm providing for you, no, I'm here. Let's do the gardening together. Let's clean the house together. Let's cook together. Oh, let me help you do this. Let me help you do that. He is so attentive to her.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But it's because they've been married for 60 years. You see what I'm saying? I want to be married like that. 60 years, that's real love right there. But the way you do it is you can't focus on what you see. You keep on looking at what you see, you're going to become frustrated even more about what you see. Because what you see is the process at work. But the process is like click, 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 click is slow. You want to see click, 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 bang. That's called a microwave. What God is putting us in is a slow cooker. Y'all feel me? Some of the best meals come out of slow cooking.
Yes.
Okay? Put you a roast in there with some vegetables and some cream of chicken soup and some water and chicken stock in there for about 8 hours to see what it do. Amen. Amen. You see what I'm saying? Some of that, this sounds good. I know. Praise God. But it's slow. It's slow. And it's gonna take time to build it. And don't get frustrated about what you see. You gotta allow God to show you the end result so you can focus there. You know, I feel this in the realm of the spirit. There's somebody in this room that's been going through a lot. And when I say a lot, it's a very specific a lot. Home is very tumultuous. And there's a lot of, you're stressed out. Completely stressed out with home. And it's like it's very hard and difficult to bear. You smile, but it really ain't there. And it's just like, I feel your heart break every single solitary time. People don't really know that you cry at night times too. because it's so bad. And I don't want to say it's so bad, but it's overwhelming to you. And there is, you don't really get a chance to talk to anybody about it. And when you do, it just kind of, good. Where you at? Where you at in here? That's you? Okay. That's you too? Okay. Yeah. I felt that. I really felt that. There's a lot of healing that you've been waiting on. And I mean in a real serious way. That's why the tears are flowing right now. That's why it's happening for you right now. And I couldn't even understand for the life of me. I wanted to talk revival. Nah. God wanted me to deal with family restoration, because that's for you. That's for you. This thing called restoration is most definitely for you. You have been broken in ways that people cannot even begin to understand. But you are one of the most loving people in the world. You know what I'm saying? And you need, thank you, Holy Spirit. The Lord says that family has always been a very important aspect to who you are. And when family ain't there, it ain't right. And you've had to go through in the last several months of your life, you've had to go through a lot of stuff. And it's been devastating. And you were expecting certain people in your family to step up, but what they really did was step back. How right is that?
That's 100%. And
so they stepped back, and it's like, but I was there for you when you was down.
Oh, Jesus.
And now I'm down and waiting. See, sometimes God allows them to step back so he can step up.
Yes, sir.
Because when your dependency is on them, they will take the credit for what he's going to do. And I'm here to let you know.
Wow.
God is good.
I'm about to tell you something. Where you stand ain't going to be long.
Hallelujah.
You hear me? Because God's going to move very swiftly for you. Auntie, am I lying?
No.
God's going to move very swiftly for you. Okay? Y'all know what I'm going to tell her. Y'all know. Give me 6 weeks. I can't be here for 6 weeks straight. Just 6 weeks. Every week here for 6 weeks. And I guarantee you, your life will change in such a ridiculous manner till you're going to be like, well, I don't go nowhere now. I've been here this long. Because you've been looking for the family. For real, for real. All I got to tell you is what I hear the Holy Ghost say. He said, look around.
Yes. Hallelujah.
Look around. Because, and it's not crazy that you hear on the day that we have family dinner. It's tacos, but we're going to have family dinner today. Praise God. Amen. It's still good. And so give me 6 weeks. Stick with us for 6 weeks. We're going to call you. We're going to pray with you. We're going to minister to you. And whatever it is that we can do within that capacity, you know what I'm saying, provide you a direction of resources, but we're going to do that. And for you, what's your name again? Jay Sean. Minister Hancock, he looked at me when you walked in and shook my hand. He looked at me, he said, do you know him? I said, no. He said, are you sure? I'm pretty sure when I know somebody. He said, I just had a deja vu moment. I said, okay. That's a prophetic flashpoint, but okay. He said, I feel, he's like, the moment that I had is that you know him and that you're going to minister heavily and strongly to him. And so, bam, we're in that moment right now. Jay Sean, you are 20 years old, right? Okay. You have a love for your mama that is out of this world. You'll put your hands on somebody about that woman. I'm smiling because you put your hands on somebody because of that woman. You put your hands on somebody because of that woman. And the Spirit of the Lord says that you have so much love for her, but there's so much hurt in you. There's so much, and there's a word I'm about to say, there's so much disappointment. Because people have made you promises that they never kept and they never fulfilled. And so you're a person that really doesn't trust people like that, but you are the nicest person in the world until you tick me off. Tick me off, then I'm done with you. You feel me? But what you're really looking for, in all honesty, is you're looking for someone that's stable, that's going to help you acquire and attain what it is that you have attain the vision of what it is that you've always had on the inside of you. You need somebody that's going to encourage you. Somebody's going to say, okay, look, you acting crazy right now, so get your life.
Direction.
You need somebody that's gonna be like, that's gonna be that tough person, and that's gonna really just be like, okay, look, what you doing? Cause you like straight talk. You don't like nobody to beat around the bush. You like people to keep it 100 and real with you. And if they can't keep it 100 and real with you, you think they phony. I'm all in your personality right now. Okay, guess what? I'm gonna be that person for you. Give me 6 weeks. Give me 6 weeks. What he say? He said, I got it, okay. And check it. I'm not just gonna get you on a Sunday, bro. So I need your phone number. I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna call you and say, okay, what you doing? Do you work?
I'm looking for it.
You looking for it? Okay. In about 21 days, you'll have a job. Okay, within that 21 days, you'll have a job. I didn't even know about the interview. And we're gonna go. I'm gonna treat you to lunch, like I always do people. But I'm gonna treat you to lunch. We're gonna chat. We're gonna talk. We're gonna chop it up. All right. And it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. All right. Huh?
No,
No.
you're maxed out.
Let me tell y'all.
You're maxed out. You're maxed out.
You get dinner.
I didn't get one. I didn't have a lunch.
She said you didn't have a
I
lunch?
didn't have a lunch.
She had a lunch? Who has not had a lunch with me?
I've been here for 10 years and I have not had a lunch. I've been here for 10 years.
Hey, Shannon, take it out.
I've been here for 10 years. We gonna eat it.
Amen. Amen. Okay, I do this. I know the last weekend in July we're having our prophetic encounter, right? So for the third weekend, we're gonna have I Love My Church on the third weekend. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm gonna cook I Love My Church dinner. I'm gonna cook, and because all y'all ain't had my cooking yet, all y'all ain't had the opportunity for me to do it, and I want to do something different. I'm gonna start crying in a minute, but I want to serve. I want to fix plates, and y'all like, but you the pastor, why should you have to do that? Because let the greatest among them serve. And so y'all don't understand. My heart is this. I always ask this question: how can I serve? Because that's my heart. Okay? So I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate being able to serve. So I'm going to do that. And y'all just going to be messed up by it. Like, we're supposed to be helping and ministering to you.
Right.
We're supposed to be, but every now and again, Jesus even took time. He said, no, y'all take y'all shoes off. Let me wash y'all feet. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay. That's okay. So we're going to do that. Mark that down. The third Sunday in July, I'm going to cook. I'm cooking a soul food dinner. All right, ain't nobody got to cook nothing. All right, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna cook. Either I'm gonna cook greens or cabbage, one of the two. Greens. All right, I'm gonna do baked macaroni and cheese, sweet potatoes, dressing. Okay, with some chicken in there with it. Amen. All right, and then if I feel froggish, I might just go ahead on and make a peach cobbler. Amen. Y'all pray for me. Okay. All right. We got one more. Come on. Let's get back.
Okay, got another question. It says, in regards to planning your future family, is it possible or even legal to break generational curses off of your children and even your spouse without even knowing or seeing them?
Absolutely. If God reveals it to you, yeah. When God reveals it to you, you should break it off. When God reveals that stuff to you, oh, this is a generational curse, break that stuff off. Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Girl.
Is it right for you to like, you say you can have an extended family?
Mm-hmm.
I already found mine, but is it right for me to just
throw the other ones away? You know what? She said, toaster. You know what? It's not a difficult question. You love them, and sometimes it's what's called loving them from a distance.
yeah.
And loving them from a distance sometimes is necessary for what it is that God needs to do.
necessary for me.
Yeah, and you gotta love them from a distance. But with the extended family, you gotta let the extended family love on you, because their love will heal what the other ones did to you. And when you're back at that place where you back on your game, and the individuals come back around and you don't feel that no more, oh, you can welcome them back and you can love them, but you learn how to love them with a guard around your heart, not a wall. There's a difference between having a guard at your heart and a wall around your heart. Walls around your heart keep you trapped. Guards around your heart checks the credentials of those that come to it. Did y'all miss what I just said? The walls around your heart keep you in bondage, but the guards of your heart will be like, credentials, please. Credentials, please. Oh, okay, let me see this. Oh, no, your assignment is to hurt them. No, you're not coming in.
Come on, guards.
Guards open up. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're part of destiny. Come on in. That's what the guarding of the heart does. Does that make better sense now?
Yeah.
Amen. We got something back there. Miss Glory, I love you so much. Hi.
Hey, Apostle. Okay, I'm glad about this, the restoring of the family subject.
Yeah.
Okay, because it answers questions. Okay, I had, like me and my sister were like this
Yeah.
as children. And there's circumstances in the family where we grew up our separate ways.
Right.
And then that always been a burden to me. So finally, after probably about 20 years, then my daughter put us together eventually in the same room, but then, my sister had became a witch. So she had already talked to me about, I was a witch, I'm a witch or whatever, and I guess she wanted a response out of me, but she didn't get it because, because God had already prepared me for witches.
Right.
So by the time I found out my sister was a witch, I was comfortable with that. What God did was brought everything to the surface, like you said.
Yeah.
In this meeting that we had. So God brought everything to the surface, and then we was talking about what hurt us as kids and what brought that separation in. And so what God did show me, because even though I was kind of angry at her about some things, I was not a safe place. So I was like, when was this restoration gonna come between me and her? And then God was showing me that I wouldn't have been a safe place for her if He would have restored us, sooner than I thought.
Yeah.
So things did take like 10 steps back. It appeared, but I had a chance to pray for her. I had a chance to minister to her. It wasn't the way I wanted it to be, but so I'm kind of understanding that even though that it was a setback, it appeared it still was a restoring.
Yeah. What she said, and she's bringing a great point. That restoration has parts and processes. Restoration has parts and processes. It's like my brother Deshaun said, what are the first steps? See, once you get into the restorative process, sometimes restoration takes the appearance of we can now sit in the same room together when we could not before. Or I can handle a conversation with you. That starts the restoration. Or I can receive a text from you and not throw my phone. You get what I'm saying? So now that starts it. When full restoration, when we start talking about full restoration is when both of you can be in functional relationship. Okay? And what that functional relationship is with family. Functional relationship means that I can go to your house, you can come to my house, you can interact, I can accept where you are. Some of them will be a part of different religious faiths and everything like that, and they don't want your Jesus. You just still have to live like it. They don't want your Jesus, but you still got to live like it. And ultimately, they will see that. Okay? And so, yeah, she's in witchcraft, but I got to love you. I got to love you until hell fails you.
Wow.
That was a shot right there. I got to love you until hell fails you. I got to love you until the world fails you. And then you've seen this consistent Jesus all this time in me. And then I can step up and be like, greater is he that is in me than he that's in your world. He's not waiting to condemn you. He's been waiting here, waiting to receive you. Come on. You know what I'm saying? So it requires, a part of restoration is loving a person where they are, and sometimes keeping your mouth closed and let your actions and let your behavior and let the spirit that you carry minister more than your mouth. Because sometimes we'll get ourselves into an argument and a Bible conversation that we ain't even ready for. You know what I'm saying? Well, you need Jesus. My pastor said that you need Jesus. Well, why I need him? Because my pastor said so. I don't know this Negro. What I want him, I don't even know who he is. You know, but let me see what Jesus has done for you. Let me see Jesus moving in your life. You know what I'm saying? And when I see Jesus moving in your life, now I can begin to receive that. You see what I'm saying with you? Okay. All right. We got some more?
Me.
Okay, hey, there she goes. Let's do it.
Okay. So, I have dreams.
Yeah.
And my mom calls me a prophet because most of the time when I have dreams, they come true in some type of way. And I try to pray against like the bad dreams, stuff like that. We always have bad dreams. But the other night, I had a dream that me, my family, and my friend, his name is Devion, we were all going to the beach. And my mom was like running people over. And I just wanted to know like what that symbolizes. Like she was like killing people on the way to the beach.
See your mama face. Your mama said, oh. Okay. All right.
I'm not done.
Okay.
The police was like chasing us, and I was just like, let's have fun while we can before we get locked up. But the police never came. I woke up.
Okay. All right. See, dreams like that have a lot of layers to them. And we have to interpret a dream like that. Because a lot of things that you're seeing come from your conscious or subconscious mind. They are symbols that mean something. All right? So the first thing I want to ask you is this, and this is how I always interpret dreams. Okay, the first thing I'm going to ask you a question, give it the mic back. You got it? Okay, good. Here we go. Was the dream in black and white? Was the dream in color? Which one of them? Was it in black and white or was it in color?
Color.
Okay. Now, was the color like vivid, bright color, or was it like hazy?
No, it was like live, like
Okay.
bright
So
color.
that means that right there, the colors indicate that it's something that's going to happen in the present. Okay? I'm walking y'all through this now. Y'all like, yes. She's like, I ain't running over nobody yet. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, you all were in were you all in a vehicle?
Yeah, it was like a van.
Y'all were in a van. Okay. Who were the people in the van?
It was my 2 nephews,
Okay.
my brother,
Okay.
my mom,
Yeah.
and a friend of mine.
A friend of yours. Okay. Thank you, because that's what I was hearing, baby. Okay. So now, it was the way you said it. But now I want to share something with you. Does his last name start with a G?
It's a J.
Okay. All right. I have something for him in a little while. He's like, so now, vehicles, whenever you have vehicles, especially moving vehicles, always symbolize transition. Transition. So there are transitions that are happening. And you and him are in a vehicle. And there are things that are happening that are transitional. Now your mom was going through and she was knocking folks down. Would suggest to you that there is an aggressive nature to mom's level of protection of you. Mom is very protective. And so she would transition you all very quickly to keep you out of danger. Okay? And sometimes the transitions that she makes will alarm authorities in your life. And when you talk about authorities, it doesn't always mean the police. It alarms authorities in your life. People that are authorities, family authorities and stuff like that. Like, why you make that decision? Why you do that? Why you, and all that other type of stuff. But she is moving stuff out of the way. Now you brought this young man into a place of transition with your family, okay? And so what the dream is really saying is that there's some transitions that's getting ready to come in your relationship with him. You ready? Yes, ready?
Yeah.
There's some things that there will be some transitions that are going to come in your relationship with him. It was a long time coming to get together, but amen. It's been about 5 or 6 months right now, and the Spirit of the Lord says that it's going to be a very interesting next several months because you're going to start to see some things revealed that you did not see before, and you don't want to see those things right now because you're cooling right now. And this is something that she's probably told you that you're going to start to see some stuff that you weren't expecting. It doesn't mean he's not a great person. It means that at this particular point, for where it is that you want to go and that you want to be, there's a level of maturity that he's going to have to exhibit.
Well, I'll be right on point, Apostle.
She looked at you, boy. She looked at you. I didn't think that dream meant that. but seriously, you are one that guards your heart very, very vigorously. And when you let someone into that space in your life, it is because you've done it with much thought. Not a lot of emotion necessarily, but with much thought. You've thought about this. And so it's not that the person is a bad person. Not that's what I'm saying. That person needs some maturity to handle what it is and where it is that you want to go. This is the test. This is how you challenge it. What do you want to do in the next 5 years? If they start the conversation off with, this should be your next response. Sideway head. What you mean, Because when you know what it is that you want to do, and somebody asks you what it is you want to do in the next 5 years, they're able to come right to it and make it happen. You feel me? So that's a test for the conversation. Now, you're in your junior year, get ready to go into your senior year. You have a lot that's getting ready to take place and everything like that. Yeah. We'll talk after service.
Wow.
It's not bad. It's just, I'm live streaming. And I don't want your business out like that. Does that make sense? Amen. Okay, come on, bring me some more. Bring me some more. You got a question, Lionel? What's your question, baby? How do kids go to college? Okay, I'm gonna answer it too. This is how kids go to college. How old are you right now? You 6. Okay, you got about 12 more years of school. Yeah, baby, but you gotta be a 12th grader and finish that out before you go to college. So it's you gotta go through a lot of schooling and a lot of learning and a lot of experience so that when you get to 12th grade and you graduate from 12th grade, you can pick the college that you want to go to. But you gotta make good grades and you gotta be a good student so that when you pick the college that you want to go to, they will accept you. And you go through that college for about 4 years. For some of us, maybe 5.
8.
Yeah, praise God, amen. Whatever it is,
It took me a while.
She has 2 questions. What's your other question, mommy? How do kids do what for homework?
How do kids get phones from homework when they're active?
Translate.
How do kids get phones for homework?
I mean, that was a question. How do kids get grounded when they are doing their homework?
How do kids get grounded? Okay. Well, you get grounded when you're disobedient. Okay. If mommy says, go clean up your room, and you don't go clean up your room, that's called disobedience. Okay? And what you've actually done is you've disobeyed mommy, but you've also disobeyed God. Okay? And so now with that being said, when you're disobedient, mommy has to take things from you to make sure that you know and understand what you should not do anymore. Got it? Amen.
Amen.
Amen. I think every kid got that. Every kid. Anybody else? Anybody else? Minister Hancock's had a question
I got a question.
over there.
I don't need the mic. I talk with you now because he ain't gonna die. This is my question. So we talking about family restoration.
Yeah.
Now I have been dealing with one of my brothers, and they've been going through a lot. God has given me a lot to tell them, but He's also told me not to tell them because they may not be able to really receive.
Yeah.
And so a part of me gets
Frustrated.
but I get frustrated with God.
Yep.
Okay. And so I guess my question is, why am I so frustrated with God? And I feel like I know the answer because it's like I know what you can do because you did it for me. But at the same time, I'm just like, okay, why are you not doing it for him and he's still going through it? So like, how do I get over that? Because it gets to the point to where even when I'm praying, I still sort of, I can't always pray for him because then I'm not praying from that place of, I want God to do it, I'm praying, but I'm angry. Like, God, you still ain't did it for him yet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
Well, first of all, first thing you have to do is you have to go have a conversation with God about your anger. You know, I'm serious. Because we try to pray, we try to pray for a person, and we praying to a God that we know that will, but we ticked off with it. And so now let me answer this question. Let's be Lord, I'm angry at the fact that I want you to move in this time zone, in this time frame, but you're not moving, this person is still going through. You wanna know why? I'm gonna tell you why. The person is still going through because there's some things that they're doing as acts of their own will. And God is allowing the acts of their will because it's going to put them in a place where they will be ready to hear. And sometimes the process of getting a person to that place is not pleasant. It's hard and it is difficult to watch and see because that person now is going through some stuff and you're praying that they go through the opposite, that the opposite happens, but they're going through it. But you don't understand that your prayers are the things that's pushing them through through that stuff. Amen. To get them to an end result that makes them receptive to hearing it. So you're frustrated with God for doing what you asked him to do. You asked him to bring them out, but if I'm not going to teleport them. I'm going to bring them through the same way out that they came in. And the process that they used to come in, I got to take them through that same process for them to come out. It's hard to look at, it's hard to see, but he's doing what you asked him to do. It's an ugly process. We got one over here.
Can I ask my question after the live stream?
Yeah. Anybody else?
I kind of got a
Follow-up question.
So like, what do you do to keep yourself out of that angry place, or like what do you do to keep your heart in the right place in situations like that?
Yeah, you know the Bible says God does nothing without first revealing it to His servants, the prophets, and prophetic people. And so this is what I want you to understand: when you have to ask God the process of your family, what is the process that your family is going through? And where are you in that process of restoration, of healing, of deliverance, so that you won't be taken by surprise? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times what we will do is we'll pray that God will do something, and then we will kind of forget about it, and we just want to see the manifestation, but not walk through the process. And it is when you walk through that process that you need to understand and know the different levels of the process. And so what's going to keep you from being messed up with it is understanding the levels of the process. All right, they are here. They are the R part of the process, or the S part of the process. They're the second R part of the process called restore. If I had an acrostic to put to it, I would. But they're at this stage. They're at the stage where where God is breaking the wheel and bringing them to a place where they can receive what you have to say, so you won't have to be silent for much longer. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
So would it be safe to definitely ask, like you said, ask about what stages the process are in, and then would it be what you want to see.
Absolutely. She said something so powerful. Look at me right now, every eye right now. Look at my face, at my pretty face. Amen. Praise God. Watch this. Some of you are praying and asking God to do stuff, right? But we pray and we ask God to do stuff based upon what we want, but not what He wants.
Right.
And you wonder why certain prayers of yours are going unanswered. Because you want what you want, but He's trying to get you something that's better. But you say you trying to get the less. You know what I'm saying? You start praying, Lord, send me my man. This is right here. You got it right there. Why you want to go to Kmart for, man? When God trying to pull one out the ground for you? Come on. And they ain't even in business no more. So you get something that's been in somebody's closet, used and abused. Are you get what I'm telling you? And so God is trying to give you something better than what you're asking. But He has to do some things in you that create and make you ready to receive what it is He has for you. You hear what I'm telling you? You won't answer prayer, but you're not at a place where you can receive the answer prayer.
Come on.
If you say, Lord, I want you to pay all my bills, and I walk up to you and I say, how much debt are you in? You like, you ain't in the place. You ain't in that place. I'm serious. You're not in that place. You see what I'm saying? Because you mature to a place that if God say, I'm gonna have somebody pay your bills on, guess what? I owe $44,364.82. How much? $44,382.62. And so you're able to rattle that off because you're ready. You're ready. Some of us ain't ready to receive answers to prayer. We just want to get out of situations quick and they hurt. But sometimes we need to be left in a situation a little bit longer so that we won't make the mistake all over again. Amen?
Amen.
Brother Murphy?
Alright. Now, I love certain families. And I'll pray for them. I really will. But other ones, I just don't care.
Yeah.
I'm in a place right now where if you go to hell, I mean, that's your choice.
Yeah.
That's a rough place, but it's true.
How do you develop a heart for, because as
Be careful what you're asking for.
yeah, as a first fruit of the family, how do you develop a heart for your family?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good question. How do you develop a heart for your family?
Because it's easy to do your mama, your daddy, your brothers, the people who you grew up with, but if we're talking about family, we're not just talking about immediate family, we're talking about the entire family.
Yeah.
So,
This is how you do that. To develop a heart for your family means that you have to really, and sometimes we have to understand the word develop. Develop doesn't happen on its own. There is action that prompts development. Okay? So if you want to develop something, you have to put in some work. So the work that you're going to have to put in is, I'm going to have to pray for them when I don't feel like it.
yeah.
And then, I'm going to tell you, God going to challenge you. He said, now pray for them for real. Because I was at the time, I was at I think it was a concert, and somebody that walked to me, hey, I want to introduce you to my family and stuff. I want you to pray for my cousin. And so I went over there, the baby just had a baby. I put, Father, just bless in Jesus' name, watch over, protect, and keep in Jesus' name, amen. And I was going to turn around and walk away. You know what happened? The Spirit of the Lord arrested me, said, go back around and pray for her for real. I said, what did I just do? What was that? And what was that? You know? And so now I go back, Father, in the name of Jesus. The baby started shaking. I said, take this baby out of hand. Bam, she done hit the floor. Now this is at the NBC concert, by the way. And I'm in the back ministering to people, and then everybody from the front started coming to the back. Can you pray for me? No. And the Lord said, pray for them. That's how He made me have a heart for people, because I didn't like people. I served them, but I didn't like them. I didn't want to be around people. And so all these people started coming. And the Lord allowed me to start feeling what they was going through. And my heart began to break for them. And so if you want a heart for your family, ask God, well, what is so-and-so dealing with right now? And when your heart starts to break for them, then you'll pray from a place of faith and passion. You'll pray from a place of earnestness. concerning them, because God is now giving you a picture into what they're going through. Because you look on the outside and you see, oh, okay, that's so-and-so, and I see what they did. But I don't see what they're going through. I don't see what prompted them to become the person that they are. When God takes you back into somebody's past and shows you that for 5 years they were molested, or for 5 years they were beaten on, for 5 years they went through some things where their mama or their daddy did not affirm them and who they were, then at the end of the day, you're like, man, that explains a lot. So now I'm more sensitive to that individual. And now I can begin to pray them through some stuff and love on them the way I need to, as opposed to, I don't like you because of what you did. Does that make sense? So we got to start having conversations like that with God. God told me, okay, now I don't like my cousin right now. And I don't like him real bad. Like, it's a real bad I don't like. You know, now I need for you to show me what's going on with what's happened, Lord. Just begin to reveal my cousin to me. And he's going to show you, okay, this is what they're dealing with right here. They're going through this and this, that, and the other. Oh, now guess what you don't do? Don't pick up the phone. I know you're going through this. What's wrong with you?
Right.
You pick up the phone. No, You immediately begin to pray for what you know. And pray as God begins to direct you even the more. Because he'll begin to break your heart of stone for them and give you a heart of flesh concerning them. Amen. All right. I got one. I'm going to take one more. Minister Hancock and then Miss Glory. 2 more.
You can do one more. I was giving you that time.
Thank you. Miss Glory.
Apostle, okay, so, part of, is it, hello?
Yeah.
And part of restoring the family, I think like it's a curse on my bloodline, on the women.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like my grandmother all the way down, you know, women are bitter. You know, I don't know, my mother, I don't have that relationship with mom. And she don't even know the kids, the grandchildren and stuff. And so I'm trying to, you know, like I was saying, my sisters and I got brothers and they got children, and we're trying to restore it, but I don't know, like, and then I get into it with my girls a lot too, because we trying to get through this curse. And we're trying to bring the women together and stuff. And so I'm trying to figure out, like, do God want me to go and make a relationship right with mom? I don't think mom is a safe place. Or, you know, am I healed and delivered enough to sit in her presence and don't be disrespectful?
That's real.
I can't trust her, you know, or, you know, the police might come, you know, I can't put myself in that situation. I don't know what God want me to do.
Yeah. When it comes down to restoration of families, especially when there curse is involved, curses, let me explain the dynamics of a curse to you. Look at me. This is how a curse works. A curse is a building in which demonic spirits operate in that indicates this is how a certain thing is going to be. It facilitates certain behaviors, thoughts, perspectives, perceptions, the whole 9 yards. Got it? So if you're dealing with the familial curse, a family curse of rejection and abandonment. Yeah, we're gonna deal with this. I felt that when I said that. I felt real like rejection, abandonment. We're dealing with specifically rejection from the mother. That's what rests heavily on that bloodline of the family. Rejection from the mother, which causes a level of discontentment and bitterness that to raise up. There's gonna be some deliverance for you today. You gotta break it off you first, and heal from the stuff. So, and then he just told me this. A key thing for you is going to be to forgive. Okay, now let's talk forgiveness. Okay, I love you, live stream people. I gotta be the senior leader of my church. Wait a minute, Dr. Blank, you better do it. Yeah, I love you dearly. Amen. God bless you. But I gotta deal with my church.